Hey, Mike. What? Who's got next?
What's good, y'all? It's your man Hezzo, and welcome back to the Blacktop, where we got next. So as y'all see, I'm not in my normal setup. Like I said before, I am on vacation, but we gotta do what we're given. So I got my boy here. As you see, he's rocking the Jayson Tatum jersey, as the Celtics took a commanding 3-0 lead last night over the Nets, and it's looking like it's gonna be a sweep, man. I'll be honest. So before I dive into everything, as always, if you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button down low. Help me grow my channel out. I greatly appreciate it. I'm on the road to my first 200. So with that being said, let's get right into it. So the Celtics, man, what a game last night. And Jayson Tatum out there putting on a show again. He actually didn't really shoot it that well, but you could tell that he was controlling the game entirely. And I want to point something out, man. KD and Kyrie have been in a box. Man, it's ridiculous what they have done in this series. And what's your thoughts on that, bro?
Honestly, man, I think Ime Udoka has done a great job, game planning for those guys and basically eliminating them out of the game. Taking them out of the game. The defense, the switching, having Al Horford, Grant Williams, big stepping out on the perimeter, guard these guys toe-to-toe, man. They're boxed. They can't do anything.
And the thing is, I think Ime Udoka's game plan going into the series was take away KD and Kyrie, and let somebody else beat you.
Right.
And every time KD gets the rock, he's in a box. He can't do nothing. Jayson Tatum's got a big frame to put on him, and he can't shoot over him like he can with a normal guy. And you have to credit the Celtics defense in that. And to think that they're doing all this without Robert Williams, bro, that's wild. This is one of the top defensive players in the game. Probably going to be at least second team all defense, at least on my ballot.
Absolutely.
And he's not even playing. I mean, he played yesterday, yeah, but he only played, 16 minutes or something like that? Had 2 points, but even when he was in the 16 minutes, you could see the impact that he had. You can't get to the rim when Robert Williams is in the paint, man. No. It's ridiculous. So, shout out to the Celtics defense, Marcus Smart, Defensive Player of the Year.
Absolutely.
Well-deserved. Shout out to my guy, Marcus Smart. I've always loved his game. I always thought he was so underrated and a very valuable asset to a championship team. And if you're the Brooklyn Nets, man, you're on the verge of getting swept.
And that's bad news bears if you're the Brooklyn Nets, man. As Hezzo always likes to put it, but you can't go out there and just look empty. You're on E. Them guys are running on fumes, man. And the Celtics got a full tank of gas now. I think this is done in 4, man.
I agree. I think it's going to end in a sweep. I originally picked this series to end in 6 games in Boston's favor. I was giving Brooklyn at least 2 games, but they just don't look like they want it. When you're watching these games, KD just looks frustrated. They're in his ass. And kind of like I've been saying about my boy Trey, he looks frustrated.
Right.
He's not getting the shots that he wants. He took 11 shots last night.
In what, 38 minutes?
40, no, it was like 42 minutes.
42 minutes, right.
That's not going to get it done, man.
No.
When you have your star player who is an MVP caliber player, obviously he's won an MVP,
right.
One of the best players in the league, taking 11 shots in a very pivotal game, going down 3-0, it's just, that's not going to get it done, man. Kyrie shot, 0 for 7 from 3?
0 for 7 from 3,
0 for 7 from 3, I think 6 for 17 from the game. And again, that's not going to get it done.
Well, let's stop there. I mean, right, like you said it, man. If Kyrie's struggling and you're KD, pick up the slack, man. You're supposed to be the guy, and this is, if you're an elite scorer and you're arguably the greatest scorer of all time for a lot of people
say, the greatest scorer of all time.
You got to take over the game, man. Giannis Antetokounmpo's doing it. LeBron James is doing it. Kobe was doing it back in the day. I mean, there's no excuses. There's no excuses.
And real quick, I want to point out the fact that Giannis does it without a jump shot. Like, I get, he's a dominant player either way. We know Giannis's game, but KD has to be better. He has to be better. And it doesn't matter at this point because they're probably going to, even if they get a game, it's a gentleman's sweep.
Right.
Because it's just that he can't do what he's normally accustomed doing because of Boston's defense. And again, credit to Ime Udoka in the Boston defense because they are ranked number 1 in the NBA for defense because they have a lot of guys that can switch. Grant Williams has been excellent for them. I already mentioned Robert Williams. Jayson Tatum has really stepped up defensively. And we haven't even mentioned Jaylen Brown.
Right.
Jaylen Brown has been so big in this series. And in game 2 in the 4th quarter, he really carried them in that game in the 4th quarter.
Right.
Because Brooklyn looked like they were going to run away with it. They folded. They folded in game 2 and should have won that game. But Jaylen Brown took over in the 4th quarter. They get under KD's skin, man. They're in his ass as soon as he touches the rock.
And they're physical. They're physical.
Physicality, man.
That's
it's the same thing with Miami against Atlanta, which we're going to talk about coming up here because there is a game coming on tonight that we're getting ready to watch. So it's just, the Celtics, man, they have been great this series. I think as of right now, to me at least, they're the finals favorites without Chris Middleton being on the Bucks. What's your opinion on that?
Absolutely, man. I agree 100%. I mean, Giannis is going to have his hands full, if they match up with them, next round.
Yeah.
And if they don't have Middleton, man, good luck, because these guys, they game plan for your star player, and they'll take him right out of the game, or they will contain him. I mean, Ime Udoka, shout out to him, like I said. He gets all the praise.
Yeah.
He being under Pop, that's where it stems from.
Yeah.
Out in San Antonio.
And the thing is, if the Bucks don't have Chris Middleton in this next series, that's going to be a huge loss for them. Yeah, they're getting by Chicago right now, but let's all be honest. No one expected the Bulls to hang in this series.
No.
I specifically said in one of my videos that if the Bulls do get a game, it's going to be because of Levine or DeRozan dropping 40. It took a 41-point outing for the Bulls to get a game. They've got blown out the water in the last 2 games at home. They just have not came to show up. Watch out for Milwaukee. Even without Chris Middleton, they're going to be tough, but they got a different beast coming up with Boston in the second round. So, let's kind of shift into these couple, the series around the NBA, man. And a lot of these series have not really gone the way that I predicted them. And I kind of want to start out with the Philly and Toronto series. We're going to kind of elaborate on a little bit on every series. And starting out with Philly and Toronto, I picked Toronto in 6. It's not looking good. It's not looking good for your boy. That was probably a bad pick, but I'm be honest with you, I'm just a Sixers hater. That's all it is. I'm a Sixers hater. I hate James Harden.
Yep.
And I hate to say it like that, but I'm not a James Harden fan. I think he's always been overrated. I still think he's overrated.
Well, it's showing, man.
Yeah,
It's showing.
I mean, he's a turnover machine, and I know what y'all are saying. Oh, Trey turns the ball over. Shut up. I don't care. Trey's my guy. Leave me alone. So, I mean, Joel Embiid's been a different beast, but I did see a report that I think he had a torn ligament in his hand,
thumb,
they said.
yep.
And if you're the Sixers, man, that's bad news because if Miami ends up closing out the series in 5 or 6 games, whatever it is, then they're going to have to play Miami in the second round. And if Joel Embiid is not healthy, I don't think the Sixers get out of that round, man. I really don't. No. I mean, even with what he's done, Miami's defense.
He's been great. Miami's, another defensive team. Shout out to Spo. I mean, he knows what he's doing out there. He knows how to take,
veteran coach,
star player out of the game, man, and contain him and make other guys beat you. And that's going to be the status quo for the whole playoffs. I feel like every series.
Yep.
I mean, these stars, they're going to go out and get theirs, but it's other guys got to
shutting the other guys down. Yeah, it's definitely has been a big difference in a lot of these playoffs. So, speaking of the Heat, let's shift into the Miami and Atlanta series. Game 4. Yeah, Game 4 on tonight at 7. We're getting ready to hop on and watch this game. I'm so excited for that. Just got news that Kyle Lowry is not playing in this game. And as a Hawks fan, man, I'm like, thank you. Now, Kyle Lowry has not done really anything this series, but he does bring leadership. He brings that grit and that grind to the way the Heat play. He's kind of a dirty player, I ain't gonna lie. That's just my opinion. But Kyle Lowry has always been a pest. He's a good defensive player. He hasn't played great in this series, but again, his leadership, the ability to knock down shots, I think that's going to be a big loss for them.
He's a floor general, man. I mean, he's kind of commanding the offense out there for those guys. I mean, the ball really doesn't run through Jimmy, so Kyle Lowry is the facilitator. I mean, and a lot of those guys are scoring off ball, and it's good. They're going to have their hands full. I mean, but I think, I was telling Hezo earlier, man, if Atlanta gets it tonight, it's a series.
It's a series.
2-2.
And
that's like game 1 all over again.
Yeah, and thing is, with the way Jimmy's been playing, they are running the offense through Jimmy as of right now. And I have not watched a lot of Heat games throughout the season. I ain't gonna lie. I have not watched a lot of Heat games. But this series specifically, they are running like a point forward Jimmy.
Right.
He's controlling a lot of the offense. He's leading the defense as well. And again, they have given Trey problems in this series. Now, again, Trey had a big fourth quarter, as I talked about in my last video. Trey had a big fourth quarter to close out. Well, I wouldn't say close it out, but hit the game winner. That floater over Jimmy Butler.
Great shot.
That's his patented shot, man. That's what he's done all throughout the season. So I'm picking the Hawks in Game 5 to tie up this series. I think we do get this win, especially with Kyle Lowry out. We got some momentum going into the game, another home game. And Clint Capella is a game-time decision. I talked about that earlier before, that if Clint Capella plays in this series, it's a game changer. And now, I'm not saying that that's going to be enough to win this series, but that's going to give Atlanta some confidence. So I got Atlanta winning this next game. So the Nuggets and Warriors, I think the game is on right now. And last time I checked, as I'm recording this, or we're recording this, I should say, but the Nuggets were up 12, I think. Steph Curry was really struggling. Klay Thompson was going off. But I haven't really caught too much of this game. Again, being on vacation, man, I don't have as much time to commit to these games while I'm gone. So it's been a kind of a lopsided series, though, man. I mean, the Warriors have just looked so dominant.
They're deep, man. They're deep. You know, Jordan Poole. They got a third splash brother in Jordan Poole. I mean, honestly, man, he's evolving. I mean, they know how player development is A1 over there.
Man. And same thing with Miami for real.
Right.
With drafting, second. I don't want to go back to Miami, but drafting those low tier guys. But credit to the Warriors, man, and what they have done with no James Wiseman, just a banged up Curry in and out of the lineup all year. Clay obviously coming back off of missing 2 years.
Huge
and
injury.
That death lineup that they run, man, with Draymond, Wiggins, Jordan Poole, Clay, and Curry, that's going to be hard for any team in the Western Conference to beat, specifically Phoenix.
Right.
And kind of shifting into that series, if Phoenix don't have Devin Booker for the next round, man, and they end up, I don't know who the matchup would be. I think it actually would be Golden State would be the matchup if not Memphis. I can't remember what the bracket looks like, but that's going to be a bad matchup for them, man. If the Suns don't have Devin Booker, I'm still obviously confident that they can beat the Pelicans because, I mean, let's be honest, they're the Pelicans. I mean, I like the
playing for a reason.
I like the Pelicans. I do like Brandon Ingram's game. I'm not really a fan of him as a player, but I like his game. CJ McCollum has been excellent since they picked him up with the trade deadline. I mentioned that in a past video, but the Pelicans just don't have enough to be able to hang with the Suns. They just have a leader, the best leader probably in all of basketball with Chris Paul. I don't care what nobody says.
Right.
He's an excellent leader. He's a floor general. He really is the engine to the Suns, and I do think that they closed that series out in 5. What's your thoughts?
Absolutely, man. I think Pelicans got lucky, when Book went out, but Chris Paul, I mean, Monty's going to make adjustments. Another great coach.
Right.
I mean, all these teams
Excellent
are well
coach.
coached.
Arguably the best coach in the league.
Right. He, you can't go wrong. He's going to make adjustments. He's going to get other guys involved. McCall Bridges is a solid player for them.
Love his game. Love his game.
DeAndre Ayton is unbelievable down low, and CP3 is going to facilitate that, man. I mean, he had, 20 and 10, 20 and 10 assists.
Yeah.
It's unreal. You can't stop the guy. He's going to find a way to get it done.
Yeah. So, a game that I was kind of disappointed in last night. Well, disappointed because I picked the Grizzlies.
They're killing me, man.
The Grizzlies and the Timberwolves, man. And I did not get a chance to watch this game. I kind of saw the box score. I was kind of following on my phone, but I didn't really get a chance to watch too much of this game. I saw Cat had a great performance.
Cat erupted.
Which he needed.
Yeah.
He needed that, man, because for what he has done in this series, let's be honest, he's been a ghost. Other than in game 1, he's been a ghost. And when you look at the lead that they blew in game 3, this was a must-win for the Timberwolves, man.
He was getting into foul trouble, last game. He was, barely shooting. Again, it goes back to, you have to shoot. These stars have to shoot. That's what they're there for. They got to create offense.
4 shot attempts ain't going to get it done, man.
You're not out there to get paid to play, run cardio. You got to play, man.
Yeah, like my man Kenny Beacham always says, shout out to Kenny Beacham, the KO T4Q channel. He always says, the Cardio Hall of Fame, man. That's what he always says, and that's kind of what Cat was doing in Game 3. I mean, yeah, he had, 8 points, but took 4 shots, 5 fouls. That's not going to get it done, man. You're one of the top 5 centers in basketball. There's nobody on the Grizzlies that can guard you.
No.
Go out there, stop being so soft, throw your shoulder into some boys, and get 30.
Right.
He did that in Game 4.
Absolutely, and he proved it, man. I'm excited to see that series. It's going to be a great series. I mean, John's going to come back, next game,
Yeah,
and
it's 2-2.
with hunger. I mean, the Grizzlies are a better team, but right now, man, Minnesota's they're getting their respect.
They're getting there. I picked the Grizzlies in 5, so they have surpassed that. It is a 2-2 series. I do still expect the Grizzlies, can't speak, the Grizzlies to win the next 2 games. I think they do close it out in 6.
I agree 100%.
So real quick, man, to end off this video, I want to touch on what you mentioned earlier about KD. And the thing is, if the Nets end up getting swept, the conversation for KD being compared to LeBron and Giannis and really being in the discussion for the best player in the league, it's dead, man. It's dead. You can't be the best player in the league and get swept in the first round. I mean, especially when I look at it's KD and Kyrie, right? Even Iverson was able to get a game, man, against Kobe and Shaq. Playing with me and you. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro.
And Aaron McKee.
You got to be able to at least get a game. This should be at least go 6 games. And I don't know, bro. What do you think?
To touch on it, man, Braun's never lost in the first round.
Bro, correction, he has last year for the Phoenix.
My
before that, though. Yep.
Before that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and Braun, when it's go time, man, the Lakers had their struggles this year, but when Braun needed to score, man, he goes and does it. He's not shooting 10 times, and neither is Giannis.
That's the thing, man. And these are the guys that dominate when the game needs to be dominated. And I know LeBron gets a lot of criticism for passing up shots and all that. That's who LeBron is. That's not who KD
But
is.
KD doesn't even do that either.
KD's a bona fide scorer, man. He's supposed to be a killer, and he's going out there and not shooting enough. He's not scoring enough, and he's not carrying the Nets the way a great player is supposed to be.
So let's be honest, man. Not to jump in front of you, man, but like KD's used to being, having Steph Curry, having those, luxuries of those guys, 3 or 4 defenders coming at them, and he's wide open, hitting down wide open shots. I mean, let's be real.
Right, and the thing is too, like not only KD but Kyrie. I mean, when you look at Kyrie, outside of the championship run that he was on with the Cavs, where he was carried by Braun.
Right.
I know Kyrie hit the game winner and all that,
Look
but
at
people
the shots leading up.
not even that, but people forget LeBron had the chase down block
One of the
to
most
set
iconic
up that
moments.
shot. You feel me? So, like, yeah, I get it. Kyrie hit, let's not act like he won them the game. The Warriors still had a chance to come down and make a game-winning shot, but they just didn't.
They didn't.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, shout out to Kyrie that. But, so looking past that, what has Kyrie legitimately done other than that?
Team up.
I mean, when you think about it, he's a bona fide John Wall. And now, obviously, he's a different type of player, but I'm talking about career-wise. He's had the same type of career that John Wall has had, minus the injuries to that extent. But even when you look at it, I seen a thing earlier that Kyrie's only played in 47% of the games this year, and then he's never played. He's played over 60 games only 4 times in his career.
And he wants to blame, chemistry on that. He wants to blame their chemistry why they can't get a game. It's
poor excuses, man. And just these are 2 guys that are supposed to be, I'm gonna quote T-Mac on this,
elite,
the most skilled players to ever play, or the most skilled duo is what T-Mac said. It ain't looking like that, man.
I mean, Wade doing this.
You think Braun's getting swept in the first round? No. You think Kawhi's getting swept in the first round?
Nope.
Giannis getting swept in the first round? Jordan in the different era. He didn't get swept. He did lose in the first round. But it was also different back then. It was only 3-game series.
Right.
It's a whole lot different now with a 7-game series.
Jordan was younger.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin Durant, I don't know, man. I'm not knocking KD, but
step up, man.
Step up, man. You got to show up, bro. This is your team. They were title favorites.
He wanted to be the guy.
They were title favorites going into this year. Kevin Durant, man, where you at? Step up, my guy.
It's on the back of a milk carton. That's where he's at.
So we're pretty much gonna leave it there, man. Let us know your thoughts in the comments about all the series so far to date. Let me know who you think's gonna win the Hawks and Heat game coming up. So pretty much gonna leave it there unless you want to add anything else.
No, I don't got nothing, man.
All right. So leave a like and we will catch y'all next episode.